Okay, how are y'all doing today? NinBuzz. Today I have a standard match for you versus, I believe it was someone off of one of my live streams last week, and I'm using a personal favorite team of mine, so we're going to go ahead and see how this goes. He goes ahead and leads with the Frost Blast, which under normal circumstances will not outspeed me, but it is holding a Choice Scarf, which does turn out to be somewhat annoying. But since it did make me faster, I am able to KO it next turn, but that does give my opponent the switch initiative, meaning that since they know I'm trapped in Hydro Pump, they can go ahead and switch into something that resists Hydro Pump. So they took my Life Orb and they basically went ahead and died with it, which I actually am in need of, because Starmie, as a timid nature, being up speed and down attack really needs the special attack boost. And since I'm locked in a Hydro Pump, I'm going to go ahead and switch out while the opponent goes ahead and gets a Calm Mind up, which is ordinarily not going to be that good. And I don't know, it's not going to be good, period, because Calm Minding Suicunes just tend to give me a lot of trouble. But I know my Shaman can take an Ice Beam despite it being super effective, even from a +1. So I'm going to go ahead and set up my Leech Seed, expecting it to be scared of the Seed Flare, but it actually stays in, and then it chooses to switch out this turn. Scizor quad resists Seed Flare because Bug resists Bug resists Grass and Steel resists Grass. So it doesn't take that much damage, but Seed Flare does have that side effect where it has a 40% chance of dropping the special attack 2 stages, which is going to go ahead and come in handy here when I use Earth Power, which is neutral damage, and because of the lowered special defense is actually going to do a great amount of damage. I was really hoping it would have done a little bit more, because the Shaman would have proved to have been a little bit more useful, and I haven't asked my opponent how much the Scizor lived with, but it did turn out to be Life Orb. I do say that did matter, despite the fact that it killed itself at the end of the turn, because I actually, I wouldn't have had to deal with the Aerial Ace. So, kinda sucks. And right here, since I did outspeed the Jolteon, I knew I was going to go ahead and go with a... Starmie and try to go for a Hydro Pump, but I miss, which is big because my Shaman resists it. So now all I can really do is come in and hope that my Scarf Blaziken can take a Thunderbolt, but they actually have different plans for that. I predict the switch to... I'm not exactly sure what I predicted it to, but I didn't want to go for the obvious Fire move because I don't know. They could have had a Heatran, which is a common trap I walk into. So I go for the Stone Edge, get a critical hit, which is actually pretty great, but now I'm going to have to go out to Metagross to take whatever it wants to do, because I'm not going to be able to do much damage with Stone Edge because I'm locked in thanks to Choice Scarf as well. It goes ahead and gets a Bulk Up, which is going to boost its defense. Not really that good for me, so I'm going to go ahead and use my Stab move, and hopefully that'll do a nice amount of damage. Does a decent amount, and I do get the attack raise, which is great, but its attack is raised, so Dynamic Punch is going to hurt really badly, and that's actually... I do think that critical hit mattered because Metagross's defense is actually somewhat okay, and I do have the Lumberry on it, so the confusion from Dynamic Punch would not have kicked in, and I could have killed it, so a little bit hacksy against me, but I guess I can live with it. I can work around it. I'm not gonna be here to complain about it. I go for the Superpower, which thankfully does take it out. They don't go for the Bullet Punch to try to get some damage on me, I guess. And here comes the Heatran, which I hadn't seen earlier, and that's why I was afraid to Flare Blitz to give this thing a boost. And I don't know what kind of Heatran this is, and I don't want to risk it, so I'm just going to go ahead and go to my Vaporeon and see how much damage it does. And another crit comes along, so the negative luck is really just coming in my way, from the minimum damage variation to the critical hit to the Hydro Pump miss. It's just coming in all forms, and there's not really much I can do about it, so I'm just gonna sit here and roll with the punches. In comes Suicune again. I totally forgot that thing was left, and if I had killed Scizor off in one hit, I would have had a reliable counter to it, so I can't really do much about it. And I think we do a double switch here, but I go ahead and I really don't know why I stayed in with Scizor. Maybe I was just frying around or something like that. I really couldn't tell you, but under normal circumstances, that would have been an absolutely horrible move. Judging by Heatran and Suicune, there really wasn't going to be much my Scizor was going to be able to do, so I guess I took this match a couple weeks back, so I guess my thought process was to get the Heatran locked in on something that my Blaziken would resist, which is a horrible way to treat your Pokemon if you actually do play in-game like that, like, you know, send something in. How could you do that, you know? And in comes my first bit of good luck in the form of a critical hit on Suicune. Now, Suicune is a defensive monster, and a lot of people like putting defensive points in HP. So the fact I just cut through it like a hot knife through butter it's amazing, and it's unfortunately the only bit of good luck I'm going to be getting my way this match. In comes Heatran again. I still have not confirmed whether or not it's Scarfed. I know it's Scarf for Specs. It's locked in on some move, and I don't know what. But because I don't have my Shaman and I don't have my Starmie, those turn out to be two really key players, and there's not much I can do here. So I'm gonna go ahead and wish and protect to get my health back a little bit. I really don't think I'm gonna be able to live a Thunderbolt. I think this is Life Orb Jolteon. I wasn't really paying too close attention. But naturally, Electric against Water is going to be super effective, going to do a bunch of damage, and that's just not going to be something I'm going to want my Blaziken to switch out to take. Surprisingly, I do live it, and that's even with Life Orb, and that is thanks to the HP investment I put into this Vaporeon. But Surf, in return, is actually not going to be a one-hit KO, which really sucks, but I can't, like, as I said, I can't do anything about it. So I'm just going to go ahead and stay in, and that way my Blaziken can come in and take, I guess, minimum damage from one Thunderbolt and take it out versus switching in, taking a Thunderbolt, and then because I'm slower than Jolteon, even with the Scarf, I would be taking two Thunderbolts, so that's why I had to sacrifice my Vaporeon there. I surprisingly lived the Thunderbolt, which is great, and I'm going to go ahead and go for the Superpower, take it out. And there is the attack drop, but I'm thinking I should be able to do a nice amount of damage to Heatran despite that, because it's stab and all of the likes. And it's revealed here that the item was in fact Scarf. So I'm going to go ahead and lose that match 0-1, but you know, it was a really fun match. And that's it for today, NinBuzz. If you liked it, go ahead and like, comment. My channel will be in the description as well. And I'll go ahead and see you guys later. So until then.